Hi guys.
Hey guys, what's up? Old dirty gamers again.
What's up, internet?
Internet.
Been
Internet.
a while.
It's been like 2 weeks.
A while.
Okay, a while.
Yeah.
A while.
It's not specified.
Upgraded my dial-up today.
Yeah.
I've got like double the speed dial-up now.
Yes.
It's
Now
AOL
we-
version 2.3.
So we can play Warcraft 1.
Yes.
Yay! Man, we should load that up and play that. I haven't even played that forever. Like Warcraft 1.
I don't think I've ever played the first Warcraft.
Did you play Warcraft 2?
I played one of the StarCrafts.
That was it. Just
Yeah.
couldn't handle it.
Uh,
Not your thing.
every once in a while I get in the mood for an RTS, but
Lingo.
not back then.
Yeah.
Warcraft.
More like Warcraft.
Warcraft. Did you ever play RTSs?
Yes,
Was that your thing ever?
I did. I played that Warcraft 3 for a while.
That Warcraft 3
That,
for a
that
while?
one.
Yeah.
That there Warcraft 3, I played it for a while.
Yeah, and then they came out with this thing called World of Warcraft.
World of Worldcraft?
And I immediately lost all my friends that were into that, and they disappeared into nothingness and never were seen again.
They're still in the ether.
Yeah.
So, speaking of new games, the first thing that we're going to be, or games that were new to us, what we're going to be talking about this week is games that were pretty much the first games that we ever played, or at very least the games that we played that we went, oh yes, I love this. This is exactly what I want to do with my life from now on. So, who should we start off with? Why don't we start with you this week?
Yeah.
You got some exciting things I've never even heard of.
Exciting things. Okay.
Which one do you want?
Let's toss some babies out the window. Dude.
Babies!
Bouncing Babies. This is circa 1984. I believe I was 2 years old when this came out.
I definitely was older than that when I played it. But
Yeah.
That's probably when it came out.
I don't think I was much older. When I played this, the computer and the monitor were so old it only did black and yellow. That
What
was like
game? What computer did you have?
I have absolutely no idea. I was fucking 2 years old.
I remember distinctly. I had a Tandy 1000, had no hard drive, ran off discs, and I have no fucking clue where I got this game. None. I have no idea where it came from. I cannot remember.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, it came with the computer, but
And you never played this, but it seems like maybe it would be up your alley.
Oh yeah, totally. But I don't think I ever played it, to be honest. Like, I'm kind of surprised.
so yeah, basically there's this fire, and people, instead of like getting their babies to safety, they just chuck them out the window. So it's
Chucking them babies.
yeah. So it's up to you. You
Take
can
a
only let
mama.
5 babies hit the ground, but you
Ever.
gotta bounce them over to the little safety carriage
Hell,
there.
a lot
and,
more forgiving than back in the 1980s
yeah.
than they were today.
Somehow the baby always lands on its butt when it's on the trampoline,
like-
but when you drop one, it's I think it lands on its head.
Right in the sphincter.
Yeah.
And I remember the noise. It goes, Patrine, Patrine,
Yeah.
Balloon.
And when
Patrine?
you die, it just makes this
Patrine?
god awful
Patrine.
noise.
You go, like it's basically just
Like that
farts.
wrong sign, that wrong noise.
Oh,
that
when you're
the
playing
buzzer
your-
that they
your
use in the spelling bees
operation?
to make the kids feel really
First
terrible.
playing this is really good.
I was-
It's sad because we want to see him
Is
fail.
it-
Well, this is the
They
easiest
start,
wave.
yeah, this is the first wave.
This is
They-
wave 1.
Yeah, they start chucking like 5 at a time out that window, and it's
Yeah, they start throwing them out like they're being thrown up by pigeons. It's just like 6 in a row. Like,
Like, I don't even think that many babies could have fit in that building before it was on fire.
And the thing about this game that's interesting is that it doesn't actually stop. You'll notice that the waves, they just keep going. So see, now we've
yeah,
picked
there's
it up
no
a bit.
break. There's no break. It just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, it just counts up. And see there, now you got to go back and forth and back. And the game was not very good at
Yeah.
memory holding. So that freezing you saw there, that wasn't the video. The game would actually freeze, and you'd be like, ah! And it would kind of fuck with you a little bit.
But it would remember the button presses, so if you actually...
Oh, there it
it
goes.
was
Oh,
saving.
he didn't-
What? How did
Oh,
you do
yeah.
that?
No, I think
He
he
landed
he
on
lost
his
a
butt.
baby. He lost another one. So it kind of messes with you. Like, and a lot of that, it's sort of, we've talked about this before, but that unintended, it's difficult because the system is too
Yeah.
crap to...
So yeah, if you need to go to the middle space and it freezes and you're like, oh shit, I need to get over, to the middle space, and then it's just gonna bump you all the way over to the other side because
Now, do you think
it wasn't fast enough to keep up with
do you
your
think a
button
guy named
presses.
Baskin was really kind of trolling people, having a game that was about catching babies?
What kind of babies is he around? They look like little possessed fucking demon children of some sort.
They do kind of look like little
Ghost
aliens.
babies. Yeah, little-
Little alien
They
babies.
look like White Walkers from Game of Thrones.
That's what happened. Spoilers. If you saw that episode where he turns a baby into a White Walker, actually what they do is they get sent forward in time, and then they are thrown out of a burning building.
It was only the baby White Walkers that they could save.
I bet you every White Walker's got a purple diaper underneath their pants.
They probably do.
I think actually these babies are all escapees from the Sheriff Joe Arpaio's jail, because that looks pretty pink to me. I think maybe this is where I'm getting away from personally. And man, that net doesn't have very good bounce to it either.
What will we get into next?
This is really interesting too, because this is, other than a couple of the fire sprites, this is actually everything that the game can do. You can have guys that are in each of those 3 sections and then a couple extra fires, but this is the whole thing. And people love this shit. This would be the easiest game to make. Dave Baskins, if you are still alive, you're missing out on the mobile market. Because it'd be so easy to just slide your thing back and forth.
Yeah.
Or even have 3 buttons that you push and it just shows up.
You could save some babies.
And you could save some babies. You wouldn't even need new graphics. People would eat this shit up. They'd be like, look at this little alien baby game. That's what it is. It's a hospital. They're setting it on fire, and then the ones that scream abnormally at the fire are the alien babies. So they throw them out from there, and they go into the truck that takes the toxic waste, and
So
then
if
they
you
melt
set
them.
a baby on fire and it screams, it means it's an alien.
Yep.
All right.
Legit. That's how we found witches. Worked back then. It's got to work that way now. You want to do the next one?
Sure. Let's go ahead and move to the
I
next
want to
one.
hear all your guys' games, because it's like none of them that I really know.
This game was, I was a little bit older. I think this, 1987. This was one of the games for the first consoles that I ever owned. It was a Sega Master System.
Master System.
And if you want to actually fast forward maybe a minute, because that little intro where he's typing, they type really fucking slow for that intro story. But
can you do the music? Is it like din-din-din?
oh,
Din-din-din?
I had that fucking song stuck in my head for like 3 days after I watched it. But
whoa, what is the keyword?
yeah, so you go from room to room, and you're trying to find these 5 floppy disks, and then you fight some crazy ass little dragon thing or something at the end. But each room is kind of locked, and it's got maybe that white line in the center that you kind of jumped over. That's a laser tripwire to set off an alarm. So
Just don't hit it.
yeah, there's a way to shut it off. There's certain codes, and this is really like a testament to how much they didn't tell you in video games back then, because there's like 3 or 4 codes. It's all the same symbol, but they never tell you what the code is. You have to kind of figure it out on your own. So he's gonna do one right here. All 4 of those hearts, that'll shut off that laser barrier, so now he can walk through that. But the game never tells you that. You have to figure that out for yourself. And there's like 2 or 3 more of those, but you go from room to room, and you have to remember which symbols you pick up from these canisters, and then you go and you put them into the computer. It'll open the door to the next room, and then there's like upgrades. You can upgrade your gun. I think there's 2
Do
or
you
3.
shoot anything other than large garbage cans? Because if you don't,
Yeah, there's enemies that come around, but I mean, like, very basic. You know, all the enemies look exactly the same. They all act the same.
his crawling is very strange.
like-
Yeah,
He's like shooting garbage cans.
That's
Yep.
what I keep seeing.
Yeah.
It's like, God
that's
damn.
exactly what I thought they
These are
were
the
too.
worst
I was
security
like, he's
I've
gonna
ever
go. He's
seen.
gonna go find all these
J card.
secret codes in trash cans. Like, huh.
This must be what it's like to
So
work
you
in.
just set off the alarm. Now all these guys are gonna come
Great.
in, and
Now they're gonna get.
See, look at watch him. Is he gonna crawl?
he might. He probably not.
Oh man, because he was crawling earlier, and I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on with his legs. Like he was sitting crawling.
Yeah, he's like.
chicka 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 chicka.
That's the
Like,
noise it makes too. That
Chicka chicka
Yep.
chicka. Reminds me a little bit about the second Metal Gear game when they had did you guys play the second Metal Gear game with
No.
side scrolling?
I played a little bit of it.
And you would crawl, and you could never really figure out what the animation was doing. I feel like they gave up at some point.
Yeah.
They were just like, I don't
it's
actually
not gonna work.
know.
There's not enough.
We don't know what it's supposed to. Just make the polygons move around a little bit. People will get it. So what is that? Level up. What did you just level up?
I'm not sure what the ship does. You can pick up the guns. That'll make your gun
Oh, here we go.
stronger.
Mission Impossible. God damn.
But he wasn't even moving. He was just like gyrating across the floor. He was Michael Jordan. If he started Michael Jackson is way across the floor. Michael Jordan would be distinctly different.
He didn't have his tongue out.
No, was that what Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never watched.
With an
it.
arm up, right?
Is that what? Wasn't he in a sport? Was that like?
Wasn't he a sport? Michael? Yeah. You never played Michael Jordan before?
No, I didn't. I know he has a shoe. So is
Very
this like
popular
what?
shoes. So those just hurt you. That number up at the top, 620, that's your health.
Oh, okay. That must be a very strange way to live, to know exactly what the number is that represents your
Right?
health.
You know exactly how much you have before you die.
Did you ever play just In Time? It wasn't called Just. It was just called In Time. Not play. It was a movie called In Time. It had Justin Timberlake.
Oh,
and-
yeah, they had that thing
yeah.
on their arm. You could buy and sell or buy stuff with time.
To be fair, I actually thought it was a very good movie. Like, not everybody would like
People
it,
were
but
talking shit. It was good though.
I just thought it was different. Like, the idea of buying and selling time and stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. But it reminds me of that and what it would be like if you had that number on you. It's like, by the way, you look at it and maybe it represents the number of calories left in your body or something. You're like,
Does
oh,
that
shit,
mean you
I'm
don't have
running
to
out of
eat,
calories.
though? If you just like everything, like you have time, like, oh, well, I need to buy food with time. And it's going to cost me like 5 minutes to eat dinner tonight. But if you don't eat, does that mean your time goes down faster, or?
I don't think it worked that way. I think that you were given an allotment before your body killed itself. Like there was something built into your genes that in order to limit how much humans would intake, that it would either elongate and not so you age, right? Like based off of something else. I think that they fixed aging, but in order to fix aging, they had to use this gene that allowed them to just basically when this clock hit, it would just kill your body. And so the rich people could keep living because they would somehow, I don't know. There was a lot about the movie I would have liked to have known more about how it worked, but they kind of get away with that by starting in the beginning and saying, it doesn't really matter why this works. It's literally the first thing they say, and you're like, all right, fair enough. It's better than coming up with a stupid
Hey,
reason.
don't think too much into it, okay? Just enjoy it.
How long does this game go? Can you beat it in like 20 minutes? Because I feel like this was probably the single
That video
most...
is like an hour and 15 minutes long, I think, and he beats it. It does say his like worst ending or something, and I don't think I ever actually beat the game.
Worst ending? Like you can do better?
Yeah, like I think the game had multiple endings. I don't know. Never
Look at
got that
hair,
far.
though.
I was like 5 years old. I had a hard enough time remembering which symbols I needed to put in the computer to open the next door, much less get to the
You know, there
end of
was
the
kids
game.
who played this game and they had like a giant fucking notepad and
Oh,
they were
yeah.
drawing symbols.
Well, eventually I did start writing the symbols down, but that wasn't until after my mom got sick of playing the game up into a certain point for me.
That was what I wish. I bet you the kid that had both one of those games where you could save with the symbols and a Polaroid, that he probably had the best time doing it, because you play either Castlevania or Mega Man, and and every time you beat a level, it'll do and then it would show like a grid of fucking symbols, and some of them got really fucking annoying.
They were really annoying.
Because there were a million of them, and so you're sitting there like, God damn it. Now, I got pretty good at pattern recognition, so the one for Castlevania 3 is super long, but I started realizing that
Like the
certain
old Mega
things-
Man games where you had to put the dot in the right square.
Yeah, but they would come up with different schemes for different kinds of games to make up for the fact that there wasn't any saving. You people out there who could fucking save your games,
You're
you have no
spoiled.
idea.
Fucking spoiled.
None. But I remember used to thinking to myself, I wanted to buy a Polaroid
Metroid
camera.
codes. Oh.
These little
A
fuckers.
Oh,
string
yeah,
of like
Metroid.
32
Hex,
alphanumeric.
just hex.
Oh.
They don't even have to go to the store to get a game now.
Nope.
They don't
Right?
even have to get out of their fucking bed.
shit, yeah.
It's bullshit. You can play games from your phone. You can play games downloaded from home. That's nonsense. You don't even have to put quarters in things. They take your bank account and magically transfer the money without you putting coins into the fucking system. Fuckers.
Lazy pieces of shit.
God damn, you get a job. Alright, what's your next game?
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
2.
Alright.
I was
Should
gonna
go
throw
next, or
another
you
one in
wanna-
there, but it was,
I'm still curious. I'm enjoying this more than anything else. Like, I feel like I've already played the games I want to talk about, so.
You want me to start?
I do. I'll round it up
I
towards
guess
the
we
end.
start off with circus. Is that the deal?
Oh.
Circus.
Look
Look at it. It looks really cool from the
Is
box.
that what you would describe it? This.
It's like some kind
Fucking
of
lying
some
to
kinda-
us.
Some kind of album from Queen or something.
It does look like a
Are
Queen
those
album
juju
cover.
bees flying through the air? I don't even know what those are. They look like bacterium.
Look, it's Liberace.
But yeah, so I was like 4 years old when I walked in the living room and they were playing this on the Atari on the TV. And
Was it your house?
Yeah, it was my place. Some people were playing it, and I just started playing this game, and I was like, yeah. And so This is a good example.
Totally the same.
Obviously, you're a person on a thing.
I think you're
You
river
bounce on-
rafting.
You bounce on the
I think
thing.
that's a safe
You-
Bounce
you
your
were-
body.
You ever think that maybe they made games like this and then they decided what to call them afterwards?
I think
so.
Like this person, so what are you doing? Is this like river rafting and then you're grabbing rocks or like kicking people across the Blue River? Could be a circus. Sure.
Yeah, so it's definitely a circus. This reminds me of circus when I look at it. Doesn't it remind you of circus when you look at it?
At least as much as
Every
There we
circus
go.
I've been to.
Look at this great VHS thing here. Okay, so this guy is playing circus right now. You basically move yourself back and forth. You can press your button to turn your little bouncy platform back and forth. But the deal is the closer to the edge you are, the higher he bounces up there. So you want to get as close to the edge as possible because it's like a physics thing. If you're in the middle of the board, you don't go up as high. So you just bounce up there, try to get rid of all the dots.
so this is basically Breakout, except for that you.
Except you're bouncing, and then you can splat yourself on the ground there when you die. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this is probably a mature rating nowadays.
So what happens when you get all the balloons? It's just the end of the level,
That's
or
it. You go to the next level. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
do the
And,
balloons ever get like more rows, or is it just
No, not that I
keep
remember.
going until you can't?
Just keep going, and there's
See,
like
kids, that's how you
different-
get your parents to let you play violent games. You buy the ones that look really shitty so they can't tell if they're violent.
Or the.
See?
Bree,
Right there.
I want to bring your focus to this point right here.
Yes.
Bree, Bree, Bree.
Yeah.
This is all I hear is that noise from Super Mario World. When you would like hit those little spring things,
Bree.
and it was like Bree, Bree.
Yeah. So this was a interesting game. No, it wasn't. It was garbage. It was Atari. There was a lot of
You
garbage
loved it.
Atari games.
You love
But
it.
then again, I've played a lot worse when it comes to Atari. Trust me.
Talking about
It was a
ET
lot
or
worse.
what?
I just may be talking. I did have ET. It sucked my balls.
I bet you if you had a walkthrough. Oh, look at that!
Oh,
Oh,
no!
Yeah,
Jesus
see that
Christ,
shit?
that was
That's a
messed
mature
up.
rating. And I'm sure there's some angry parents out there when they saw that. Oh my god!
What is happening with that? Did he fall in the water? I feel like I was lied to with all these extra animals, though. There should be some kind of horse,
Yeah, where's the elephants
Like
at?
a
I didn't see
floating-
no fucking elephants in there.
a floating clown or whatever the fuck that guy is. Kind of
Look at that
crust
horse with a
clown.
headdress.
That is a very nice headdress. It's feathery. It's
Just remember, guys, good artwork will sell anything.
Yeah.
oh shit.
That's what we had to go
Lessons
off of
learned.
back in the day
Let's,
was
uh,
cover art.
Let's do another.
And how many
Atari
times
game,
it
'cause,
fucking lied
Atari,
to
the
us.
other Atari game I played that day was Joust. Oh, look at that! Sweet.
Oh, that's the 5200.
Atari.
That's the upgrade. That's not even the 2600.
Yeah. Oh man, there you
Some more
go.
artwork.
Some great box
Joust.
art. Great box art. He's got like Geordie LaForge eyeglasses
Yeah.
on. He's riding some kind of fucking
Thor-
ostrich.
Heavy metal.
Thor on a chocobo.
Beep,
Yeah.
beep.
I mean, look at
And then
this.
there you go.
And then the pterodactyls are attacking, and you're gonna ride your amazing flying ostrich.
Yeah.
couldn't
most,
get-
most people know what Joust is, though, right? I mean, most people. This is.
I don't
like
think I actually ever played Joust.
This is like one of the first deathmatch games.
No?
ever made, I
Mm-mm.
think.
You know, it's actually surprisingly similar to that one game Nidhogg. In a lot of ways.
I was just thinking.
In a lot of ways, I feel like they took the inspiration to Nidhogg. Now this was the arcade one, right?
No, this is the Atari. The arcade looks a little better than this, actually.
I thought we just showed the last one was showing the version of this that looks significantly
that was
crappier.
the other Atari version. so-
2600 version.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the one I first played was actually this one.
Okay.
5200. It looked a little better, at least reasonably enough to where you compare it to the arcade, right?
The arcade one, even surprisingly, I mean, I guess better is sort of a relational thing, but it looked even better than this did.
Mature rating right there.
What, because you're laying
What did-
eggs? Or
No,
what?
what did you do to that dude's head?
So the whole
Kill
game.
him.
Explain how the game works, because I don't think
Okay. If you don't happen to know how Joust works, you fly above another person, and then as long as you're a little bit above them and you hit them, that will kill them. They turn into an egg. You collect the eggs for points. And also, if it's two players at once, you can deathmatch each other, so you can kill your other guy that's playing with you. Fuck with them, you know.
like Mario Bros.
Yeah, exactly. This has even the same kind of layout
Yeah,
level-wise
it
as
does.
Mario Bros.
Like the battle thing in Super Mario 3.
Yeah,
Talking
well, that's what
about-
that was based off of. So the battle thing in Super Mario 3 was like a throwback to. Can you imagine the idea of having throwbacks when Super Mario 3 came out? What would the throwbacks now be? Like if they remastered and re-released this, what would it be like? It would be all.
It'd be Nidhogg.
Well, it would be all first person and like VR. Like let me fly my own
I
bird.
don't know
and-
why, but I feel like Square Enix would have a hand in it.
Yes, Chocobo Joust sold.
We need some epic music, and then somebody's gonna summon something.
Dude, you're not even joking. I would play the fuck out of Chocobo Joust. And you collect eggs and then you can summon, like fucking Ifrit comes in, he's like, no, fuck you. Dude, you need to get on the horn. That would sell. I'm not joking.
We'll see.
You know what it should be?
That's
See,
true.
like-
I will. I'll bring it up to Yoshi P. I'll be like, my friend here, and you can pitch it to him. Say, listen, I'm telling you, I will buy this game at very least. It'd be free to play.
What it should be is they should be riding on these chocobos, but with these huge heroin needles. And they just jab them into each other, and that's how they kill them. Is the OD the other guys on heroin? That would make the game really cool.
Is it like the Mary Kate and Ashley version of Joust? Is that what Mary Kate? First player's Mary Kate, and then everybody else looks like the Joker. Too soon? Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, so I think this game is. I still enjoy playing this game. It's still really just basic and simple and fun. Oh yeah, 83, 4 years old. That's how old I was.
So that's the 2600 box art. I wonder what the 5200 box art looks like.
Probably the same.
Is it?
I wouldn't surprise.
I just saw a video online. I wish I could remember where it was linked to, about a guy who talked about the differences of box art. You should look it up. I'll see if I can find it. But you know how there was, if you had the NES, there were certain cartridges that didn't look like default NES cartridges?
Yeah, I was trying to find one the other day. It was a blue one, and it was like Captain Moon or something like that.
Captain
I can't remember.
Moon? Did you like strip for points?
It did have like that, not the Flight of the Bumblebee. There was a really famous like a really famous like orchestra song. I can't remember.
Blue
what song it
Lagoon?
was, but no, that wasn't it.
Vivaldi's Spring?
No.
Okay. I got nothing else.
You know what's really bullshit?
I'm
You know what's bullshit,
waiting
Richard?
with bated breath.
They don't fucking do art on games like this anymore. All it is bullshit. You look at the covers for games.
No,
and
I
it's
don't
like,
need to know what the picture of the game actually looks like when you're playing it. Give me something
exactly.
like that.
I know.
You know...
That's how you sell shit right there.
It is.
Misdirection.
Exactly.
Misdirection. That's worked out so well.
Well, sometimes simple is better.
Simple is better sometimes. So
This-
take us through this game, the classic of all
This
classics.
is absolutely simple. This is the first arcade game I ever played. I was 7 years old, and yeah.
Was that a
There you go.
Namcom game? Namco? Who made that?
I don't know. Not
I
sure.
think it's on that
Is it
Midway
Atari?
pack
I think
that
it's
I got.
Atari, isn't it? Why did I
don't
play all
know.
Atari
Can
games
we-
originally?
Can we zoom that? Can you stretch that in the background and see if we can zoom it? I know this is gonna look
You
terrible.
want to
on
read
the
that
video,
text off the bottom of the screen right
Enhance! Enhance! Enhance!
Zoom and enhance.
Okay, no, I think he's limited by the size of our production video here, but I would be very curious to know, actually. I don't know. Because you would think if it was Atari, it would be...
Yeah, it is Atari.
Oh, there we go. 79! People were making video games in the 70s.
It's the year I was
Pong.
born.
Pong?
Even before that, they were making games.
This is the old school raster graphics arcades, so the ones that have that weird look to them when you're looking at them. It's you have to. If
Mike-
you were to replicate
Oh,
these in
yeah, where it looks
arcades
like
now,
kind of
you
like a
have to use
hologram.
Special, yeah, kind of.
I remember playing this when I was a kid.
Why did
you have
it-
to use
why
the
was it
special
like that?
monitors. It's just the way that they made the. It was like
To
the way
be
they
cool,
had the
or?
monitors were made. So like they basically come with these bright lines in there when they.
Yeah, it was super. The white was super bright,
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
it? My
Uh-huh.
my grandma's doctor's office had one of these in the waiting room, but it was like more like a computer game. But it was just the only thing it did was play asteroids, and it was bright as fuck.
Yeah, and this game's just fucking torture to a child.
I remember the game as being really... Like, the white was more like pearlescent. Because it would almost flash like many colors.
Yeah, you can't emulate it. You can try, you can get close, but you can't emulate this on an LCD screen. You have, if you play it in arcades, like you could see it.
You
the
need that old
difference.
tube.
I wonder
Yeah,
if you could
yeah.
I wonder what it takes to re-put one of those together. you guys, if we ever get a place where you could put that stuff together, it would be nice to have something like that. Maybe we could find somebody who can put it together. It would be pretty cool to see. I think.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, I don't know what to say about this game, really. I mean,
Shoot shit.
You shoot shit till it's all blown up.
Yeah.
Once it's all blown up, you go to the next level, and then it's the same thing over and over and over till
You're
you die.
an A that makes big rocks into smaller rocks.
There you go.
Wow, they were already getting you ready for slave labor in 1979. It's like, isn't it so cool? Break the rocks into smaller rocks, kids. This is actually, this looks like this is from the PC. I played it on the PC.
I do remember playing it on the PC.
Where
There
it was
a 2-player version too.
Very much
Full of
similar.
shit.
But the
I mean, they
tail
had a
end of
version
it
of
was
this in
larger.
Battletoads vs. Double Dragon also.
Oh man, that game. Jeez. All right, meow. We have a guest, as it sometimes happens. All right, let me move on to my stuff. So the first one I'll talk about would be the Atari game that I played, which was for, so long ago, Adventure. Now, Adventure was 1978.
Look
you
at
can
that.
see
Look
that
at
right
His
that
there.
artwork. See that artwork's selling it.
Yep.
It was absolutely selling it because when I saw this, that's what I thought I was getting
Do you
into.
use with joystick controllers?
100% not what I was getting. You pop this
Not
thing
a
in.
damn dragon.
This
that
would
looks
be
like
the
that.
very extent of the world map. And even at this, you might be like, oh, yeah, man, it's got a couple of screens. I want you to pay attention to that most of these screens are just a box. There's nothing in them. And the lower, that's it right there. That's what most of it looks like, is a
Really
box.
good through this video.
So we're going to play through, you'll get to
Extremely
see an
zoomed out
idea. So you
portion.
just start out in the yellow castle. And the idea is that you only have one button, because all the original Atari had one button and a joystick. That was it. So all you could do is pick stuff up. And you had to go find the golden chalice, which was actually more like the iridescent pearlescent chalice, because it was doing its thing. And you can see here, again, I'm always making this comment, but if you had epilepsy, thou shalt not play video games back in the day, because everything was flashing at you. So that arrow he's carrying around, or she's carrying, if you will, it was a non-gender-based game, so open to all interpretation there. But that is actually the sword, the brandished sword of Excalibur in all of its fracking glory. So
It's Peter Pan's sword.
The left arrow
the
sword
golden
is
one.
the strongest sword.
not the right arrow sword, but the sword of the left. It's a very liberal sword. So use liberally. So that was the bridge, which you could annoyingly pick up and move. But you would go through this, and you would get inside, and that right there that we just passed, that thing there is actually a magnet, which you could use to make various objects come to you, and you could make the chalice like come through walls to you. So this was the very first level. It's very easy. You pick up a key, go over to somewhere else, but it would randomly regenerate everything. The map didn't necessarily change. That part that you went to that was very noodly, that was the one part that it was sort of like the Legend of Zelda forest that you could never tell what direction it was going. But they would replace I almost want to say it was random, but I think there was a set number of different levels and you could beat it eventually, and then it would just loop. I thought this game was fantastic because I had Stockholm syndrome for video games when I was a kid, and I didn't realize that it could be so much better. So this was my interpretation of an adventure, and when I was out there playing with my friends, I was like, left-hand sword. I gotta make a shirt out of that.
You want to
Left-
touch my left-hand sword, kid?
No, I don't think that would have gone over very well. I mean, I was a kid at the time, so maybe they just would have thought that I was young and impressionable.
This is another thing about these kids, like they
These
don't
kids today.
they don't appreciate like how far it's come. Whoa.
I caused an earthquake.
Don't appreciate how far video
Gotta watch
games have
that
come.
fist
You know?
of rage.
It's it's only they can only
Alright,
make the
it's
video
gonna-
games look so good. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna end up looking like real life, but that's it. It can't look any better than
Right,
that.
right.
So they go from something that looked like a really good cartoon to something that looks like real life. Where we went from running around in a box
As a box.
as a box.
A box running around in other boxes, killing murderous ducks
With arrows.
my left-hand sword.
And not the shooty kind, the pointy kind.
Shooty.
Not shooty arrows, pointy arrows.
Shooty arrows. Those are the only two arrows there really are, is pointy and shooty.
Pointy
Right.
and shooty.
Is there another kind of arrow?
No.
Nope. Pointy and shooty arrows.
Pointy and
That's it.
shooty arrows.
So the next one I'm going to talk about is actually the first game that I got with my first Nintendo, and it's called Hogan's Alley. I think a lot of people probably have seen Hogan's Alley before. Hogan's Alley is a shooter game. It's still very basic. It was one of the first games that ever used the Nintendo Light gun, and it was definitely all about taking out the gangsters. I feel like that could be very much photoshopped into something way better than it is. So there's an example, actually, of box art that was just realistic.
Realistic box art, but
It
the
wasn't
name
lying to
was
you.
deceptive. The name was deceptive because when I went to go play the game, I thought it was going to be Hulk Hogan wrestling in an
Same.
alley.
Oh,
thing
man.
I thought.
Gee, really?
Yep.
With
Like, where the
like
fuck is Hulk Hogan in this game?
Oil and just touching each other in the alley. So there was really
When this game came out, there was only one Hogan. It was the Hulk Hogan.
The Hulk, damn right.
there wasn't only one Hulk.
He was our American hero.
Look up the story of Hulk Hogan if you like. He was a very fat kid. And
Do you think
made
there's
himself
anybody
better.
watching this right now that doesn't know who Hulk Hogan is?
I don't think there's anybody watching this.
Well, I don't
right
think
now.
they knew he-
I
I don't think they knew he was a wrestler. I think they just knew that he had a family and was on TV for a little while.
Yeah, well, that's true. Although when you see him walking around, he likes to come to E3. So when we get to E3 and you see him walking around, you might want to run up and be like, "I love you. I played your alley game." See what he says.
Run up behind him and just give him a kidney shot.
Yeah.
I
They'll
think I
just
could.
look at you, and then I'll have to.
I
clean
think I
them
could
off
take
the
one
floor.
from Old Man Hogan.
He's still huge, dude. He roids like a mother. It's crazy. So I should describe how some of this works. So this trick shot game, you shoot him over on the left-hand side. The idea is to make sure they don't fall below. You can get points either 3,000, 8,000, or 5,000, depending on where you get it inside there. So obviously you want to get as much as you can. I don't remember if you get a bonus for letting it drop on that innocuous piece of floating brick that's there. Because I think it would be very hard.
That'd be the only way to get it into the 5,000.
I think so. Yeah.
No, you can let it go like just below the 5,000 and then shoot it in there and it'll go up inside.
I'm still curious as to where the professor comes in.
So I don't know if this video actually gets into the other two or not. We could try fast forwarding through it and see if it does. But this is game B. So game B, this
They played
maybe
this
is
in Back
perhaps
to
the
the
alley.
Future.
So you actually, it keeps scrolling, and as it gets harder, it goes. But this is where these people show up, and you have to shoot the bad guys and not the good guys. The good guys can be
Like Walt Gunman.
either a girl, right? Exactly. It could be either a female, or it could be the professor, or it could be a cop who's a very friendly cop. Obviously, this is an all-white neighborhood, so the cop is.
They walk around in the
Oh,
middle of the night
There
with
he
quantum
was.
physics books.
Professor.
And the
Boy,
professor
about to
looks
start some
very
shit.
Jewish. Like, I'm not really sure why they were so particular about it, but he looks like my uncle. So that it looks like it could be. And then the other ones you had just very generic looking. So you would go through this building and you would do a bunch, and then would reset and you'd go right back to that same alley. And they were all very specifically generic looking gangsters. I don't know why that gangster seems to have a collar with no shirt. So that one right there is going to give you an offer you can't refuse.
It's a flesh-colored shirt.
Is it? Because now that I look at it, the next time this pops up, I really am going to wonder, because I never thought about it before. Well, that guy's got a shirt and jacket. Okay, he looks like Mad Max, but there's the blonde girl. We don't want to shoot her. These games are very... See, look at that. Oh, no, it's a
Trench coat.
it's a trench coat, but it looks like it has nipples.
It does look like
Yeah, it does look like he's kind of
A
got
trench
buff,
coat with
like
nipples.
pecs.
That's very strange.
It's like
Okay.
that
Joel
Batman
Schumacher
movie.
made this game.
Yeah.
Schumacher. Hogan's Alley by Joe Schumacher. So that's that, and then A is actually just a classic. It's
You don't
just
think
got
we can
four.
make his coat the same color as the background so it doesn't match his face? No, has to be the same color as his face.
Yeah, it's got to be. We can only use 6 colors anyway, so any more than that, I'll overload the system. Actually, it was like 8. There wasn't very many colors. Actually, there was like 256 colors or something that they had to work with. So all the games had to go off of that same palette. But and then the last one was just. It was just an alley. It was like that. Boom.
It
So
really does look like nipples.
It really
looks like he
does.
doesn't have a shirt.
I wonder if he's
He's
wearing
got like
the
a
same color pants and there's a button
Pop
around
his,
his asshole.
pop his skin collar.
They're probably like pockets. They're pockets, like right here.
Well, they are probably pockets, but it definitely looks like maybe he's some kind of a serial killer and he has his naked body and he's sewed on like a collar out of some other man's flesh. Because that's
Like
really
he
what
has
it looks like.
foreskin on his neck and he just like lets it ride up.
It's a penis with a hat.
Penis with a hat. All right, so the next 2 games, or last 2 games that are kind of one really, is a combination of the Goonies, or what was called Versus the Goonies, and Goonies 2. Goonies 2, which I guess we're going to start with because it's the first one that's up on the screen. I didn't realize until we were putting this together that there was a versus Goonies 1 for Nintendo. I thought that Goonies 2 was the only one for Nintendo because the first one I played, to tie this into this being the first game that I had played for Nintendo, was I played the arcade version of Goonies at Red Robin, and I would go there every day, and I would play it. Which
the
is
burger joint?
Yeah, Red Robin had the Goonies one, and but this is Goonies 2, so this is what they brought out for the Nintendo. Now the Nintendo one, and I don't know if they brought this out before or after the original Goonies, you actually somehow you were getting roped into saving not just your friends, but also a mystical mermaid from the Fratellis. She still looks fantastic in that, by the way. I don't know if you
did a really good likeness of her, actually.
Well,
it is
I think she
it's a
just-
very
she already
very
looks
good,
like that.
I think she
so
was
it's-
already-
it's a very good likeness of her.
Even the way she talks.
Even the
it's
like
exactly the way
eyeballs
she
going.
talks.
Brr, 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 brr. And she would start off here, and then there was a map. Previously, there wasn't a map. You couldn't really get more than one type of weapon at a time. You just kicked, and you could get temporary upgrades. But the Goonies 2, I'm not really sure why we're going back and forth on that there. But Goonies 2, you started off up here, and you always had your trusty yo-yo. I was like, I couldn't come up with the word yo-yo. It's just been too long since that's been a thing. And then you go to these first-person bits where you would go exploring inside, honestly, what would end up being some seriously long sets of rooms. Whoever built these catacombs is out of their mind. And it couldn't possibly have been the ones in the movies because you pretty well explored those by the end of the movie. So it made for a really good adventure sort of role-playing game. Something that, honestly, I hadn't had the experience before. So I recommend, if you like classic games and you haven't played this, to honestly go give it a try. It's pretty fun. The action's pretty basic. It's a little bit like playing Castlevania 3, in that you have control over where you can and can't go. Castlevania 3 is still a little linear, but you have a whip, if you will. Those are some of the Fratelli gang. They always get back up after a couple of seconds of jerking themselves off on the floor, and then they come after you. And as the game progresses, you go into deeper parts of different worlds. You get to see changes in the background. It's one of the first time I ever saw anything where they really tried to add some depth to the game. So you get a lot of cool weapons. You get like Molotov cocktails and bombs and other kinds of stuff. You can
I don't think
use.
I would have ever jumped on that thing if I was playing this game. It
Which-
doesn't look like it's safe to stand on.
No, I mean, if I saw anything floating mystically through the air in a real place, I probably wouldn't do it. So perfect. So you could pick that up, and then you've got a slingshot. And the slingshot was super cool, and then you could start pew-pewing. So
Pew pew.
I really enjoy this. Now, do we have something from the other Goonies ones too, or just?
We have the Goonies.
So this is the console edition remake of the.
Versus the Goonies.
It's called Versus the Goonies. So this, I could be wrong. This might actually be the console one. It looks very similar. Yeah, this is the one that was in the arcade. I don't think this one was ever on the console actually. So
What are you fighting first?
you're fighting giant rats. I never really understood this, but you could blow up vaults and you saved your friends. So the point of the first one, despite the fact that the movie occurred, was that Mikey was going out there, taking on the Fratellis, saving his friends, of which there's apparently like 105 of. So Kid had more friends than anybody I've ever seen.
Until Facebook came out.
Until Facebook. This
Yeah,
is
he
pre-Facebook.
did all this on with like a telephone and writing letters.
Yeah. If you even know what writing is
Yeah.
anymore. I mean, there's
It's
like
like texting without the keypad.
yeah, there's like pencils, and a pencil uses graphite to mark. I know.
God
it sounds,
forbid we're using a pen and you make a mistake.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I
White
know.
out.
Well, now all the pens are erasable, so there's no whiteout.
They
There's
never
none of that
really
stuff
erased the
anymore.
whole thing though.
You kick someone in the asshole, and they fall down and jerk themselves off. And then you save all the kids you can in an area, and you move on. So that's how I think they figured that Goonies 2, which in and of itself was a sequel, but they never completely ported this one over, was a good way to make an excuse as to why you didn't get the graphics. Because this one, you may not be able to tell, but this one has significantly better graphics than the one on the console. So I would say try them both out if you get an emulator. I quite enjoy these games. You got to kick people who were gangsters as like a 12-year-old kid, so that's always got a bonus. And it's
You
sort
try
of-
and kick a gangster as a 12-year-old kid in real life.
Usually
Doesn't
doesn't
work
end
out.
very well for you.
I've seen
They
a lot
don't.
of
They don't
movies.
just fall on the ground and start jerking off.
I've seen Home Alone. You can totally do it. I can outcraft
With an
any-
elaborate set of traps.
Yeah, with the world's largest Rube Gold machine, I can definitely take out any evil on this planet. So cool. So try it out if you guys get a chance. I think that's all we got for today.
Yeah.
So we'll be back next week.
That's all I
with
got.
Some randomness. There's that box art again. There's that
yeah.
box art.
box art lying to
Switch
you.
back to the box art.
Love it.
You
I
gotta
want to get a
show
good.
that.
Just give you a couple of seconds of that beauty. Look at the
Save that mermaid.
look at Moffatelli in the lower right hand
Yeah.
corner there. It's like, I mean, that's legit. Like, this is some good art, not for nothing, but and they clearly stole it from like Adventures in Babysitting, and I don't know
Kids
who that.
don't look anything like the kids from the movie, that, like at all.
Oh no.
Oh, the main kid does.
Chunk kind of does.
Like
Is
in
that
this
Chunk?
picture.
Is that supposed?
I think
Isn't that
Chunk. I think
supposed to
that's
be?
supposed to be Chunk, the one at the top. The one in the blue shirt, I think, does look a little bit like Mikey.
Oh, we're way out of focus.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's. I mean, I would have to
There we go.
Photoshop that because we keep going in, and I'm like, ugh. All right, so there you go. In all its glory, Goonies 2, The Goonies, fantastic. So thanks for sticking around, guys. What?
Versus.
Versus the Goonies. Versus the Goonies. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you guys like the games we like. We would love to have you subscribe and follow us on all the social medias, and we will see you again next week.
Bye, guys.